This is my RX8 and this is the wide body kit for said RX8. Okay, so that's all the pieces to the kit. We've got the rear arches, front arch. Okay, so this is the front arch. And that's the bit that goes on the front bumper. And it mocks up a little bit. Like this. But it is fiberglass, so we've got to do some kind of body work with it, manipulation, things like that. But that's the general gist of it. So we'll get some tape, we'll tape it up and see how it looks. Okay, that's it, slightly mocked up with just some tape on. We've run into a few issues, that being one of them. But what we'll do, we'll use some heat, because fiberglasses can be manipulated with a bit of heat, and we'll get that to sit where it needs to sit. Once we've got a few self-tappers in the top, just make sure it doesn't move out the way or anything. We can draw on the cut line. We'll take this off, tape it all off, draw the cut line on, and then we can start looking at cutting it and things like that. And then, yeah, we'll be well on our way. Alright, we're all taped up, probably overkill, but now we can start mocking back up again and drawing lines where we're going to cut line sort of thing, and then we can start cutting. Right, so it's just absolutely slapped it down here, but nothing will deter me from making these videos for you guys. So we're now in the gazebo and we're going to carry on doing what we do. Right, that's the arch taped on, but it doesn't form to the car 100%, so I'm going to put a little self-tapper in there and then work my way down using heat and manipulate it into place. And then this does bend in and mould in, so we'll use some heat on there and get that all right. First, like, kind of self-tapper in. These are way too long and they're not actually what I'm going to be using, but for the purpose of just getting it in the right place, this will do me just right. Right, that's generally where it's going to go, and I'll show you from the front about how it is. We're just having a bit of issue. I'm just having a bit of trouble getting this to line up there and there, because that wants to be like that, but then that wants to be like this, so this might need to come up. So I'll give that a go now. Right, so I've moved this up slightly, which has given me bit of a gap here, but I reckon I can get that with a bit of heat and sanding, and then this now sits exactly where it needs to in there. So I'll get a few tappers in there to secure that on. Right, took the indicator off because the kit does cover it and impede with it, so we'll be covering that up, but we'll sort out what we need to do for that afterwards. Right, I've got a Sharpie, going to draw my line under here where I'm going to cut, take off the kit, and then we can start cutting. I've done this line here, and then once the kit's off, I'll draw an extra line down just so it gives behind here. Right, there's the cut line. I'll neaten it up and then draw this line in a bit further in. We've got the arch line out, and what an absolute joke that was. There's no need for that many clips to be in this, but there is. And then normally they break, but these ones didn't break. Just, it's out now, so let's get on with it. We're now ready to start cutting. I've got my safety glasses on, so I don't damage my eyes. So I'll get cutting now, and then I'll show you. That's the first cut done. Just cut the bumper. I've tried to retain this. This is like the mounting point. So now we'll cut the actual body, and the front of the car is only single skin, so I haven't got to weld up any of the arches, but the rears we will have to weld up because it'll be double skinned. That's the arch cut out. And now what I'll do, take the tape off, grind it down a little bit, and then put some primer and some paint on there just to make sure that we don't get any rust and stuff like that. Right, that's cut, then sanded, then painted. Now time to put the arch back on and see how we're looking. Right, that's the arches all cut. I had a little bit of a dilemma. I thought I'd cut it completely wrong, but then looking at the very vague pictures that I can find on Google, the whole part that I thought that I'd cut wrong has to be cut, and now I've got to build like a part of a wing to it by welding, so I'll have to get some material for that. But what I'm going to do is just bolt up the wide body kit. Well, I'm going to bolt up the front arch, get it all on, drop the car down, and then I'll work out that afterwards. Right, now I'm going to address this problem by working my way down and pinning that in as we go. Right then, after a whole lot of messing around and things like that, we've finally got the arch somewhere where we want it, and it looks good. We've had to do a little bit of sanding, things like that, but it doesn't look bad. And then we've got to, like I said, build a little bit more, and I'll show you that now. Ignore the mold grips, that's just holding them two together because I've heated them up, try and warm it up, so then when I take the mold grips off it will somewhat stay still. But this is where we're at. And this is that space that I'm telling you about. So what I need to do, I need to get some material. Just sat on the I need to get some material and weld pieces of material in from that inner edge there to this edge, create like a body, and then the arch lining covers the rest, and we'll extend the arch lining out so it meets the new arch. But all in all, I'm quite happy with the way that it's turned out so far. Alright, so that's where I'm at with it. I need to build that inner arch, things like that. But what I'll do is I'll put it all back together now, put the wheel back on, lower it down, then we can see actually how much wider and either what wheels we need to buy, or for now just run some really big spaces. I don't know yet. Right, that's the car back down, the wheels back on, the arches are, the one arch is on. What I'll do is I'll show you now, and I've made I've made a lot of mistakes, to say the least, so what I'll do is I'll show you them things as well. So right, so it doesn't look too bad. Like, I'm happy with it. Like, it looks good. It all flows. Everything's on. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. These line up all right. This could do with a little bit of sand in here, just because there's an edge there. But next step is to address this. So, like I said, I'm going to build it up here. The arch lining, that'll be gone. It'll just be material, probably some metal there, and then I'll fill it, sand it, make it look pretty so it follows and flows with the arch. Obviously bigger wheels, or for now spacers, and then look at just finishing it, putting riv nuts in here rather than big set of tappers because they're rough, and then this will be done. I won't show you the other side because I've already showed you this side, but regarding hole, just, you know, they'll have to get, I'll just weld them up and fill them and sand them because the car's going to get wrapped anyway. So yeah, there's a few mistakes on here, but like I say, it's all trial and error. It's I've never done this before, and for my first time I don't think I've done too bad. I just need to finesse it and finalise it and stuff like that. So alright, so that's the end of today's video, but don't forget to subscribe and make sure you tune in for part 2 where we'll do the rear arches, and then we'll try and address the issue of building in that archway. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.